Just a fantastic afternoon for us, and I thought just really proud of the way that our team came out and started the game. That was an emphasis. I know the other guys up here talked about that, but we haven't started games very well against VCU in the past, and I feel like we've always been kind of trying to chip away. And the way that we did today, on both ends of the floor, I thought the defense set the tone. Asari is a tough cover, and I thought Katie did a really, really good job of it. But I thought the rest of our kids, too, noticed that and really tried to get the ball out of her hands. Did that very, very well, and then I thought the basketball was moving. I think when we've been really good this year, the basketball's moved and found the right people, found the right hands, and to be honest with you, there's a little bit of everything. I thought Katie started the game great, but it really just kind of found open players, and I thought we got the shots that we wanted early.
Coach, so in your view, what is the next step for this team? What would you like to see that you haven't seen from this group?
Yeah, we've been fortunate to jump on some teams early. I think maybe would have liked to probably end the game a little stronger the last few games. I think we've had some leads, and I think we've tried to play some different combinations. We've had some kids that are coming off of injuries, so trying to get their feet settled a little bit, but also trying to get them some game experience. I probably didn't do a better job of the prep for them going into the game. But I think by and large, I think we've had some games that we've been really, really strong defensively. I think we've had a handful of games here that we've held teams under 15 points in the first half, and I think that really does set the tone. I think that non-conference schedule we talked about, that we've been forced/able to win games in different ways. And I think when you get into conference play, it's been great lately that the shots have fallen. I don't know that that's always going to be the case, but I do feel like the defense that we brought today would have given us a chance had we not scored as well as we did.
Could you speak to what Faith has brought to the table here, and is it what you had projected when you brought her in?
It's probably not fair to talk about projections on her, because I think twofold. Relationship I have, but she's a great kid, and I think she was dealt an injury. I know she talked about the injury that to her foot, but she was coming in here, didn't have a whole lot of summer time with us. She was battling another injury and coming back from a surgery, so she never really kind of got settled. When she came back from the summer injury, boom, it's the foot. And I think a lot of people have talked to her about how big of a role she's going to have, and she's been fantastic. And I think the flip side of that is I think Allie Sweeney has been fantastic as well. And so I think I've been so impressed with the way that Faith Alston has handled everything here, because probably the role that we talked about has been a little bit different. Some of that's injury, some of that's Allie. But I think you're starting to see, and I said this to her last week, like it's the best that she's played. She's back to playing like Faith. Like the kid that I've seen play for the last probably 7 years, I think that I've seen her, 7-8 years. But I think she's really comfortable, and I think I almost gave her a hug during the play today, where it was just like she was out there having fun. And that's the energy that we need from her. And whether it's 10 minutes, 15 minutes, whether it gets more than that, you never know what's going to happen with your roster and injuries and everything else. But I think I'm really comfortable with what she's bringing us right now, and I know that our players are as well. And unfortunately, the only unfortunate part is just that it's taken this long, and that's really not been because of anything she's done wrong. It's just been injuries, but she's really battled back from that very, very well.
A little bit about the three ball. You shot it well against St. Bonaventure. You hit 10 of your first 20 in the first half. You shoot 50% from three, you're going to win a lot of games.
Yeah, and I think other coaches know that too, but I think what this group has really done well is attack the basket and finish at the basket well. I think some of the games that you can tell and feel that teams are trying to take away the arc, one, we got to make sure we're doing a better job with our movement to get those shots, but I think we are, at least as of a few days ago, we were number one in the country in 2-point shooting percentage as well. And I think even during that first half today, we can say 10 of 20, but I think we were 6 of 9 inside the arc. So I think that's a big part of it when you feel like you can score at the basket. That's really what we're trying to do. I know everybody talks about the arc and everything. We're trying to pepper the paint. We're trying to get at the basket. And the product of that has usually been that we've got some shooters out there that can get a kick out and knock them down. And we've been feeling good here as of late. And the shots have fallen. I also know that this game can humble you pretty quickly, and so that's why I think we've really tried to put a focus on the defensive end and other things as well.
Your thoughts on the afternoon?
I think we came out very strong. We kind of knew in the previous games that we played them, they've kind of had the first punch, and we wanted to kind of prove that we are a different team this year and kind of, throw the first punch. I think we did that very well this game, and yeah, numbers show that as well.
Rachel, could you speak? Oh, excuse me.
No, I was just gonna say I agree on the same thing. Just to add on to it, I mean, it was a big emphasis. It being a rivalry game, there's a lot riding on it, and I think we took that to heart and we just came out ready to go from the jump.
Rachel, could you speak to the balance that it's been talked about this year? I think you had 6 players score just in the first quarter and a minute, maybe, and
Yeah.
what that does in terms of giving you an advantage out there.
Yeah, we're a very versatile team. Anyone on our roster can score and find ways to help benefit our team. So I think it's kind of hard to guard us when you know everyone can't score, and it's just really hard to guard. So when we're all heating up and doing really well, it's again really hard to guard us. So I think that it gives us an advantage in the end.
Faith, could you speak to your journey here? Obviously, you're an accomplished player at Appalachian. Why Richmond? I know it's closer to home, but were there other reasons?
I mean, a big reason was that it was closer to home, but another reason was, it's just a strong program, strong team here. I mean, they're coming off winning the A10 championship last year, and obviously I was watching, not being able to play in a postseason, but when I was entering the transfer portal, I kind of had an idea of I wanted to stay close to home, stuff like that, but I mean, I think Coach Russell had a little bit of a head start. He recruited me when he was at Bucknell, so we had a little history there, but I mean, it not just being close to home was a big reason, but just the historic program that he's built here, and I just wanted to be a part of it. And I only have one more shot to win a conference championship, to go to the tournament, all that stuff. So I thought that Richmond was the perfect place for me to do that.
This is a supportive role for you at this time anyhow. You could have obviously gone someplace where you would have been featured. How much did that weigh in terms of choosing this role that's not a starting role at this time anyhow?
I mean, I feel like off of last season, this might be a surprise, but I've never been a big person on scoring in my stats alone. I've always just been a team player and what I could bring to the team. And when I was on App last year, what I could do best and bring to the team was scoring. But coming here, I knew I was going to be kind of starting over, getting used to a new system, a new group of girls, and I honestly just dove in head first, and I just went into it with the mentality of I'm just going to do everything I can to support this team and get us further into our season, winning, all that stuff. And, I mean, it just happens to be like I'm in more of a supporting role. I'm not starting. That stuff doesn't really matter to me. I just want to be able to step on the court and give my 100% regardless of where I am or what I'm doing. So.
You were not physically able earlier this season. Can you tell people what your injury was and if you're back to where you'd hoped to be or you're still on the way there?
I feel like that's hard because being an athlete, I'm a little hard on myself, so obviously I want more out of myself. But the injury I suffered earlier this year, I had a very deep bone bruise in the middle of my foot, so it being in the middle of the foot where it was very hard to do. A lot of stuff I couldn't really walk, run without it causing tremendous pain. But, we're okay now. I went through the whole process, got over it, and obviously, like I said earlier, being an athlete, I'm very competitive with myself, so obviously I expect more of myself, but as of right now, I'm proud of what I have accomplished because I've never dealt with an injury like that as bad, keeping me out as long, but I mean, I'm happy to where I am and how I can just go out there and give my 100% for the team.
That's an unusual injury in basketball. Did you do it playing basketball?
I sure did, and it happened in a very unusual way, so...
How was that? Did you step on somebody?
Yep, I stepped on one of our practice guys' foot during practice, and my ankle just completely rolled. It was a normal roll. I thought it was just like a normal sprain, and obviously got X-rays, MRIs, and it ended up being something else. So, I mean, I've had numerous talks with my trainer. She said it was very weird how it happened, but I'm just thankful that it wasn't season ending, and I could still come back and help this team.